What's the name of the school? Is that the Red House School? I forgot.
The Red Schoolhouse on 5th.
The Red Schoolhouse on 5th. The first time when I saw the school, I feel like it's very interesting, very exciting to see. Wow, that's so fun for the kid to get on the bike and then go everywhere together. I like to be in the school like this, but we don't have school like this in my life. And how can you start this kind of school in the beginning?
We, my sister and I decided we wanted to start a school together. She'd been a teacher for a long time and wanted to do something outside of the school system. So we thought, like, well, what would it look like if we decided to start a school together? And
Did you have experience about being a teacher before?
for me, I have taught, but outside of what I would call formal schools for a long time. So we kind of community schooled my son and his friends growing up, and with a group of parents, and then at Pun Pun, the farm, we host events for adult education and kids to come and learn about being on the farm. So very alternative education. I've been in the world of alternative education for a while, but never started a school.
Why you and your sister want to start something not normal?
I think we wanted to see, we have a lot of ideas about what should be in education, but sometimes feel like if we're in the school system, the conventional school system, sometimes it's hard to do those things. There's a lot of limitations, and we thought, okay, well, what if, my brother-in-law said, well, what if you just started it yourself? And then I thought, oh, what if we did? Well, what would that look like? Just think about it for a little while, and then it kind of grew and grew into like, oh, and then we would do this, and trying to just think of any idea that was maybe like we thought was a little crazy at first, and then see if we could actually do it.
What is the picture in both of you at the beginning?
So yeah, I think it was fun because we both brought something different to the table, like together, from our different experiences. But when I look at it now, there was these three kind of ideas. One was outdoor education, so forest school approach, being out, having the kids outside as much of the day as possible. So we have a house, we have a place we can go inside, but as much of the day as we could being outside with the kids, and trying to see when you start with that, then it changes how you look at the day. And then the second thing was having the kids have time, like let them start something and keep going with it. And maybe they start a big project and then we're going to come back to it again. Like that's something you can't do in school system. Sometimes, a lot of times you have to be ready for the next thing. And the third thing was community. So we started this school on the same street that we grew up in a different house, in our friend's house that was across the street. And so it was a very special place for us, and this community was a special place for us. And we thought we really wanted, it was a special place for us as little kids. And
to bring back your old memory.
Exactly.
To put in your school.
Yeah, exactly. We felt like, oh, I think this is a great place for little kids. And the reason is because there is community. Like you're living close to people and you see people, and it's easy to see like what makes a town and what makes community around you. So we wanted to be a part of that community, not just be here, but have the kids be like engaged in it.
So the idea of forest school is just bring this kid out of the room to be in the forest as much as they can. But when you have to start the school in the city, there's not a lot of forest. Is that a problem?
Yeah. For us, we have found ways to bring it in. So we have these bicycles, and we then can put 6 little kids in a bike and go around. So we have 2 of them, so we can put 12 kids with us, and we go out on the streets. So we do community things that way in town, but also very close to town, there's a lot of little wild areas and nature areas that are really close to us. And I think most towns have something like that. Most cities or towns have some wild spaces, some open land and all of that, that's enough. You know, we don't need it would be great if we had a dense forest right next to us, but we don't need that either. We can find those places where the kids can be free and wild and observe their environment. So the key about the forest school idea is that we go back to our same areas. We have hollow tree, and this is one space we go to throughout the year. And there's there's another old grandma tree, we call her, that is close to the river. And so these are kind of really sweet little spaces we found where the kids can explore. There's space, there's time, and we go there throughout the year so that they can see the changes. Like, they can observe the seasonal changes and all the stuff we're talking about because they see it.
You need to have a theme for each day to go to the forest. Like, you need to looking for something or just go out and play.
A lot of it is going out and playing, but we follow what they're interested in. So we have some ideas. We come in with ideas, and we're thinking about something that's either seasonal or something happening now that we want to incorporate. But a lot of times it's because the kids got onto something. This summer the kids got into bugs, and so we just went with it. And then we use other resources. We go to the library and we get a bunch of books on bugs, and we look at habitats, and we incorporate a bigger idea. We make them out of objects in the art studio, but it's not that here's the lesson we're going to do, here's the worksheet you're going to do on it. It's an evolution of what the kids are interested in and then what's happening around us.
Do you think you have enough thing for the kids to draw their attention in the forest?
Oh, it's endless. It's hard to get them to leave, always. There's never like a time where, there's not even a time when the kids don't want to go. There's some kids at the beginning, they're not used to it. They haven't spent time there. They maybe don't feel coordinated, or they feel scared of certain things. But within the context of our group, within the group of us going together, and then them, once it's like their mind kind of changes when they get into that environment, and they start to just experience it themselves and touch it, and then they can let that side of themselves go and explore. But they're doing it together too, so they have to use teamwork. They have to come together and work together on things. But yeah, I mean, really, it's always, they're very full days. It's never like we're bored and we can't think of something to do.
Did you bring any good memory from your childhood to put in this school?
I think that I was lucky to have a community of people around us that knew our family and kind of looked out for us, and I felt like I was a part of that. I feel like I was a part of that community, and I feel like what we want to have the kids feel here is that they're a part of this school. They don't just come to this school, but they're a part of the school. They shape the school. They change the school, the way they are, what ideas they have. They are contributing to it.
What is the first thing the kids have to do when they come to the school?
They come in, they put down their backpacks outside, and they start to get back in touch with the environment around them. So as long as it's summertime, we have them go into the gardens and see what needs done, check on the chickens, check on the garden, just kind of really get based in where they are, and connect with each other and get used to, I think that kids do have a feeling where they're used to going inside. When they get to a place, they want to go inside and play with the toys. That's what they're used to doing when they have a play date, or when they have, in different settings in their life. And it's just kind of restructuring the way they see the space so that they're part of this space too.
When they have to do the garden every morning, did they get tired of it after a few days?
I thought they would. I was worried about that a little bit. But they always find something to do. I mean, you let them water and they're finding something like that. They find bugs. They try to create a fairy home in a bush behind some space. Then they find something else. I think it's good like, I think we're worried about kids being bored. And I think that's a change in the culture. Like they watch video games because we don't want them to be bored, you know. And I think it's okay if they're bored for a little minute before they find something else to do. But the environment is really important. So another part of what we talk about is that the environment is the biggest teacher. And so that there's a lot that goes into creating that environment, you know. And I think that we've done it for what works for us here, and that depends on where you are. But I think in wherever you are, there's some elements of that. Having a garden, having a space where they can do projects that they can continue. We have a little studio space in the garage where we have materials and they can make things and create things, you know.
How the kids involved with the communities?
Mostly by going out. So we go out every day, but they're interested in something, and then we try to look up people around that. So, you know, they got interested in waste and compost and recycling, and so we went to the recycling center and became friends with them there. And so the kids are the best, you know, link. They're the best you know, connector, because they're going to talk to anybody. We go out on those bikes. Cycling is a great way to talk to people. You're not too fast, you're not too slow. They know the neighborhood dogs. They know the older people in the community. Sometimes they know if somebody has been sick, and then they'll maybe make something and we'll bring it over to them. And they're learning how to take care of each other and how to take care of people in their community and be a part of that. But they have no filter to say, I shouldn't talk to this person. So they talk to everybody wherever we go. And that just creates more links for us to learn too. And, you know, it's great.
How often that you turn on the TV or the YouTube for the kids?
Mostly not at all. I'd say for most of the year, not much at all. Or not at all, you know. In these months, we're not showing anything. There are, like, if it gets really cold, there are some times we might put on some dance videos and try to get some movement.
Dance together?
Yeah, we dance together.
Not just watching.
We do yoga together or something like that. And sometimes when they're interested in a topic, we may look up one YouTube or one you know, science video that explores that, to show them something we're trying to show them that we haven't seen directly in our environment. But this is really short amount of time of the day, and most of the year and of the time there's no screen time. But we have a lot of books that we keep getting from the library, and we bring in what they're interested in.
It seems like when the kids arrive at the school until they leave the school, they have no time to touch the cell phone, to touch the internet or anything online.
No. They don't even think about it either, really.
They do not get bored. They do not ask for it.
No. They learn what it is, what this environment is. And then this environment has their friends and has a lot of things to do. And they know what they can do in this environment. It's not a part of this environment for them at all.
So when they have fun with people, fun with nature, it's more fun than game or anything.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes bringing kids in to learn from other people in the community is a way of helping some other people in that community, you know, by bringing attention to what they're doing. I mean, we did go to a homeless, or it's like some free meals space to help out or bring some goods. But it's really, I think that a lot of people get just energy from kids, and they get excited. The kids really value them and what their work is and what they're doing. There's an older woman across the street who does story time with them once a week, and she used to work in a library and doesn't have access to being with little kids that much anymore, you know. We don't, in these states, we live pretty insular lives. We live in our house, in our work, and don't have that sense. We don't talk to a lot of other people all the time, necessarily. And so I think that, just the kids being so interested in their community helps.
Yeah,
other
it
people
seems like
too.
the society here, people were disconnect completely from each other. Everybody have their own world, have their own privacy thing. So
Yeah.
they don't want to connect, don't talk together much.
Right.
Is it hard for this for you and then the kids to go connect to people who close the door a lot?
We've never had a problem with accessing community. I think it's just because you're coming with kids and with their interests, but we have had, like, everyone has been open doors to us in all the things that we've gotten to learn about, and all the people that we're around. And I think those people that are really interested in community will find you as well. I think the other part of community that's really important is for the parents and for the teachers too. For my sister and I, we really want to have community and be with other people too, with the kids. And think it's really important that the kids learn from other people. They need to learn how to learn from other people. And the parents need each other because they want to talk about all the hard things about being a parent and have someone to talk to about that and have that community too. So we found that that's a big part of the community, is like the parents also supporting each other, and knowing each other better.
It seems like it's a big picture to think about the school like this. Normally school just think about the kids, how to teach the kid. But when you do the school like this, not only about the kid, you need to think about community, about their parents, about the people around, about everything around. It's quite big. How can you manage your time to work with kids like this?
I mean, it takes more effort to work on all of those connections, I think. But I think that for my sister and I, it makes it that much more fun. Like, it's a lot more fun to be involved to not just be involved in a classroom with kids, but to be involved, have those kids involved with everything around them. And I think that we've moved schools into classrooms, and we're trying to find ways to bring it back out again, because we know that it's helpful for kids, it's helpful for the teachers, it's helpful for the parents. But it's hard to do. Like, you have to ask for a lot of permission maybe to get kids out usually. And so we feel really lucky, like we can do that, and it makes it just a lot more fun for us.
To make it fun is the main reason to make your sister want to quit her job from the main system to create a new system.
Yeah, I think it's, you need to be able to do it your own way sometimes and see, she's got a lot of experience, but just trying to think of how you do it if you could do it yourself is really fun. And then sometimes it doesn't work out. We make mistakes sometimes, but overall it's just a lot. It's fun because it's something new every day,
It seems like that it's not teaching only kids, teaching yourself too, teaching community too.
Definitely, for sure. And it's a constant, and we're learning every day, which is what makes it fun too. Kids change every day, and their needs change every day, and that's what you're trying to figure out. Where are they at? What do they need now? Why is what worked last week not working right now? And so it's this process that I feel like if we're in it together, then there's just a lot. It's more interesting. It's a lot more fun, to figure out.
What is the challenging of doing the school like this so far?
I mean, it's more involved, like you said, like we are involved with the parents a lot. We're so involved because they're a part of our community. So we care a lot about what happens with these kids and what's happening with their parents and with things around our community. So that can be a lot sometimes, especially if a kid is struggling through something that we're all working with them on. But I think another challenge is that I just wish there were more opportunities for parents and teachers for different forms of education. And so for us, the kids are going to probably go into a public school after this. So how do you kind of get them ready for that too? And some of the parts of the conventional education system are very based on like sitting and listening and as what's valued. and we want to give kids that freedom for a longer period of time. So we have to think about those kids and what's next for them too.
Do you think this kind of challenges will be a problem for other people who want to start to do something like this?
I think everyone will have their own challenges when they start their own thing, depending on where you are. But I think that it's the fact that the growth that I've had by being able to do it and how much fun it's been to be with the kids in this way makes it worth it. You know, you have to make the day really fun as a whole. You know, you have challenges and you're tired, but it's like if you get those moments where you get to really connect with kids and be in nature and do those things, it makes you have the energy to keep just wanting to do it, you know.
So far, what is the biggest impression from the school for you?
I've been really impressed with the kids, I think. Like what they're able to do if they're given the right environment and given responsibility. I think we don't always think that the kids can handle things. And I've been so impressed with, we give them real situations. When we go out on the bicycle, there are things that could be dangerous because we're going out. We're not in a fenced area or a room. And they need to work together and they need to listen to each other. They need to listen to me. We're a team. We got to work as a team plan, we talk about. But most kids are really able to do that, and they're learning because it means something very real. It's not just like a scenario. We're not trying to create an idea about a situation, but they have to act in that situation and they know it's important. Like I think kids know if something's not really important and you're trying to make them learn it. And they find what they're doing either fun or important and meet you there.
Do you think learning from experience like this will benefit the kids good enough?
Yeah, I think there's so many ways of learning for kids, and so we're trying to find something that can value what they know already and their style of learning, and then challenge them too, so that every kid finds certain things easy and finds certain things hard, right? And so they still need to practice those things that don't come easy to them, but they need to be valued for the stuff that they also know. And I think that for a lot of kids, they need more activity in their day. They need to be physically outside in their surroundings, and it's in their body, and we expect them to act like adults, and they're kids. And so I think it's really extremely beneficial. We've had one kid who was pretty nonverbal, but he couldn't speak when he came to the school, but his parents knew that if he was in a place where he was using his body and using his mind at the same time, it could help him. And now he speaks just as well as any other kid in his class. And it's just a really fun progress to see every kid kind of deal with what they're needing to work on. Some kids aren't used to working together with other kids. That's a big part of our day, How many times do I say things around this? It's constantly saying the same things, but that's what we're working on, And we're listening to each other, and we're addressing an issue. If I have a problem with you, I'm working on that problem with you. I don't need to, just tell a teacher, but how are we learning the skills for ourselves? And so I think all those things come up for a kid. I think a kid cannot really be in this school and just kind of be in the back of the class and not say much and kind of slide through. You have to be engaged because
you cannot hide.
You can't hide and just kind of, silently get through the day. And I understand why that happens in other environments too. But luckily, they have to engage with other kids, so they have to learn the social skills. They have to face the environment, so they have to learn the physical resilience, and they learn teamwork. They learn all these things, just through what we're automatically doing. Yes.
When we focus on experiencing a lot like this, did you, both of you or parents, worry about academics learning?
I think the parents have to understand our approach. And our approach is that we are going to learn through what we're doing. And we're going to learn through the things that the kids are already excited about. So the kids are learning to read, they are learning to write, they are learning to their math, they're learning measurement, all those things, but they don't even know they're learning it. I mean, they may know and they may be proud of that, but they also, we're not having them sit down and do it. We're just taking what they're excited about already and bringing in those other things. So we're always going to be looking at more books and all of that to bring in information for them. They're going to be doing creative writing stuff and art, and so we are doing it, but we're not having them sit down in a way that tests them or something like that, because we feel like for them, we just want it to be fun and fun for them to learn it and natural, I guess.
In many countries, parents want their kid to be smart, to make a lot of good score, to make it very well on the academic thing. But for this school, it's like a focus on hands-on, on experiencing. Do you have problem with parents who have different thinking? Like the number of parents who want to send kids to the school decrease, or?
I mean, for us, we've seen the opposite. I think we're seeing parents that are like responding to the schools becoming very academic from a young age, and they understand they don't want that. Mm-hmm. They want kids to have a childhood, and when they're ready to learn these things, they'll learn. They're going to be given the opportunity to learn them, but not forcing it on them from when they're really little. I think that kids are getting burnt out, and by the time they're in high school, they're over it. They're not interested anymore because they've had it for so long. And I think our goal is just to have them know how to learn, like that they learn how to learn. They can have access to knowledge and find things out for themselves, and that they think that it's fun. If they can have those two things by the end of their time with us, and they know how to be with other people, they can communicate well with other people, and they can, engage with other people and have friends, I think they're okay. They're gonna be all right.
It's so fun school. So far, do you feel happy with it, or you have something that you feel like you need to make it better?
I love it. I can say I think it's a really great space for everybody involved. For the teachers, it's so much better than some of the other environments that teachers have to work in, and the parents are understanding and a part of it, and the kids, seeing them grow. And I wish that the only, thing I hesitate about is I hope that there's like more and more places that have, depending on where people live, what works for them. This is what works for us in our hometown, in this community, in this space. But I think that the same thing can apply everywhere, and that if we have more and more of these options, that it can really just help all of our communities as a whole,
That's so beautiful school.